Good evening and nice to have you join us on Nationwide. Today, I'm Elizabeth Omori. President Bola Tinubu has departed Abuja for Dar es Salaam, Tanzania to participate in the Africa Heads of State Energy Summit 2025. State House correspondent Musbaut Danwahab reports that the summit hosted by the government of Tanzania in collaboration with the African Development Bank Group and the World Bank aims to advance Mission 300, an initiative to provide electricity access to 300 million people in Africa by 2030. Here are highlights of the Energy Summit presented. In Dar es Salaam, African leaders, private sector leaders, development partners, and civil society groups will strategize to accelerate energy access across the continent. The summit will provide a platform for sharing knowledge, expertise, and resources to address Africa's energy challenges. Discussions will focus on accelerating energy access in underserved regions, renewable energy, energy efficiency, and mobilizing African sector investment. On the first day, at the ministerial level, participating countries, including Nigeria, will present their national energy strategies, termed compacts, detailing their approaches to achieving universal energy access within 5 years. On the second day, heads of state will endorse the Dar es Salaam Energy Declaration, outlining a unified roadmap for Africa's progress towards the Mission 300 objectives. President Tinubu will deliver a national statement reaffirming Nigeria's commitment to achieving universal access to energy and its leadership role in Africa's energy sector, and highlight Nigeria's ongoing clean energy initiatives and its strategy to drive integrated energy delivery on the continent. Away from the Energy Summit, the Federal Republic of Nigeria congratulates the Republic of India on a 76th anniversary celebration. In a statement, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tugar, extends greetings to his Indian counterparts. Tugar says Nigeria and India have maintained strong ties for decades and continue to witness strategic partnerships in global affairs aimed at enhancing political and economic prosperity of both countries. Nigeria appreciates the excellent relations and pledges support for the government and the people of the Republic of India. To climate matters, Yobe State is pioneering the implementation of agro-climatic resilience in semi-arid landscapes, a World Bank sister project with the disbursement of more than $2 million to 101 communities and farmers groups under the Community Climate Resilience component of the project. The intervention aims to combat climate change-induced poverty among farming communities by providing and promoting sustainable agricultural practices with financial backing. Unisa Suleiman reports.
SEL's Community Revolving Fund is a subcomponent under Community Climate Resilience that aims to empower local communities by making funds available to boost agricultural productivity for enhanced food security. To achieve this goal, more than 2.5 million in interest-free loans has been disbursed to 101 communities and farmers groups to catalyze sustainable agricultural growth, improve livelihoods, and promote climate resilience among rural communities in the state.
We greatly appreciate you for this kindly gesture, and I assure you it will be utilized to the fullest.
The first tranche of the Community Revolving Fund that the federal government of Nigeria and the 19 northern states and FCT came together to take facility from the World Bank for the purposes of uplifting the poor and the downtrodden, was well executed in Yobe.
The CRF will support only profitable, sustainable, and climate-smart projects, that is agricultural farmers and enterprise groups.
In line with our policy on youth empowerment, I have directed the allocation of 4,825 slots out of the total 7,340 slots to the youth for maximum engagement and benefit of the community revolving fund loan program.
In a pilot phase, 10 communities in Damaturu and Guru local government areas received $25,000 each last year, demonstrating the World Bank's commitment to reducing global poverty indices through targeted interventions. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
In other news, the FCT Association of Resident Doctors has called off its 3-day warning strike, attributing the change of heart to prompt intervention of the FCT administration. Aisha Ubali tells us more.
3-day warning strike by FCT resident doctors, which commenced on 22nd January 2025, ended yesterday, 25th January 2025. And being weekend, all doctors on call are on seat, but activities are yet to pick up on a large scale. The FCT resident doctors, before the strike, wrote memos to the administration before embarking on the warning strike. Payment of outstanding salaries, arrears, as well as other demands, such as approvals for the payment of medical residency training funds, as well as approval for immediate employment of doctors, among others. Dr. George Ebong says the administration should adhere to best global standards to avoid doctors' exhaustion and also minimize human errors due to workload.
Have a situation whereby a doctor will do 7 cesarean sections in a day. We can't cope with that. We don't want a situation whereby a doctor is going to be the one on call for 48 hours only. And let me put it this way, that actually the Minister has also approved for 300 and something plus employment to be made.
The situation in other hospitals such as Asukuru is similar to that of Wuse General Hospital, as the doctors believe that activities will pick up now that the strike has been called off. In the meantime, the association says it will release a communique by Monday, 27th January 2025. In Abuja, Aisha Ubali, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu condoles with the government and the people of Enugu State over the fuel tanker explosion, which resulted in the loss of lives on Saturday. The fuel tanker reportedly spiraled out of control and burst into flames while navigating the Ugu-Unyema section of the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway. President Tinubu commiserates with the families of the deceased and injured and prays for the repose of the souls of the departed and quick recovery for those receiving medical attention. The president calls for caution and adherence to safety measures among road users, particularly fuel tanker operators. He further calls on agencies in charge of enforcing traffic rules to implement measures to prevent recurring fuel tanker explosions nationwide. And the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction is also saddened by the news of the fuel tanker explosion in Enugu. In a statement by the Director of Information and Public Relations, Ilya Roda Ishaku, the minister commiserates with the families of those that lost their lives and those injured. He commends security agencies, FRSC, SEMA, and other relevant authorities that took proactive measures at the scene of the tragic accident and stresses the need to embark on intensive sensitization campaigns to create awareness on the dangers of scooping of petroleum products at the scene of tanker accidents. While praying for the soul of the departed and recovery for the injured, he emphasized the need for prompt emergency response by relevant agencies and adherence to road safety measures by drivers. Meanwhile, transportation experts have called for a general review of movement of petroleum products within the country. This, according to them, will provide lasting solutions to incidents of tankers tipping over on Nigerian roads. Bolaji Akim completes the story.
Tankers have for ages been the main mode of transportation of petroleum products across the country. This, according to experts, was initially designed for bridging gaps in case of pipeline movement failures. With the recent cases of loss of lives, property, physical and financial disabilities caused by petrol tanker accidents, experts are now calling for a safer alternative to moving petroleum products across the country.
We can go by inland waterway through barges. We can go by rail if those rail network is connected to the points where the petroleum products are refined.
Rail is the one that we can quickly pick on. We should rehabilitate our former narrow gauge to be able to take these ones, because the standard gauge, Lagos to Ibadan, first of all, hence at Ibadan, but secondly, is largely for passengers. So we need to do the narrow gauge in order to take as many tankers as possible on the rail.
With President Bola Tinubu's determination to revitalize the nation's refineries, including the pipelines in the process, will not only reduce spillage of petroleum products on the road, but also address the huge losses caused by tanker accidents, which most times results in infernos. Meanwhile, holistic enforcement and review of articulated vehicles road policies, especially for those conveying highly explosive substances, according to experts, will bring about the needed sanity on the nation's highway. In Lagos, Bolaji Akeem, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide on NTA. Let's join Sadia in Sokoto for more reports. Nice to see you, Sadia.
And welcome to Sokoto. Governor Ahmed Aliyu has commiserated with victims of recent fire outbreak that destroyed property worth millions of naira at the timber section of the popular Karo market in the state capital. Abdullahi Umar Ilalu reports that the governor visited the scene alongside Minister of Labour and Employment Muhammad Maikar Dingyadi and former governor of the state, Senator Ali Mogatkar Dawamako, as well as top government functionaries.
The Harmattan season, marked by its signature dry and dusty conditions, creates a fertile ground for devastating fires. Unfortunately, human actions often exacerbate this risk, with factors such as negligence, unattended flames, and careless disposal of cigarettes and machinery sparks contributing to the outbreaks. Recently, the timber section of the market was on fire, said to have started from a waste dump site, engulfing hundreds of sheds and stripping the victims of their source of livelihood. Governor Ahmed Aliyu, who is here to sympathize with the victims, describes the incident as devastating and called on the people to take precautionary measures to guard against the occurrence of such disaster. He appreciates men of the state and federal fire service and Good Samaritans for their prompt response, which assisted in controlling the inferno.
As government, we will do our best within the limited resources.
The chairman Timber Sellers Association commends the governor for his concern to the plight of the traders. Shortly after the sympathy visit, the state government constituted a 7-member committee under the chairmanship of Talhatu Sidi Mamman to identify cause of the fire, number of the affected traders, and recommend possible assistance. The committee has 3 weeks to submit its report. In Sokoto, Abdullahi Omar Ilalu, NTA News.
Upholding core military values, professionalism and selfless service are critical in safeguarding Nigeria's territorial integrity against internal and external security threats. This was the key message of Governor Ahmed Aliyu to the West African Social Cultural Activities, WASA, organized by the 8th Division Nigerian Army, Sokoto. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa has more.
It was a vibrant celebration that filled the air as Nigeria's diverse cultural community came together to showcase their rich heritage at the 2024 West African Social Activities WASA at the 8th Division Nigerian Army Ginya Barracks, Sokoto. The annual event provides a unique opportunity for the troops to reconnect with their loved ones, foster relationships with the host community, and share experiences among officers and soldiers after months of selfless service and sacrifice to their fatherland. The atmosphere was charged with a thrilling tug-of-war to promote teamwork and resilience between the soldiers and corps members, which, despite fierce competition, the spirit of camaraderie and sportsmanship prevails. Governor Ahmed Ali represented described the celebration as a period of respite from operational duties, eroding excellence in the service of the nation.
We are here to support them 100% by God's grace.
The General Officer commanding Air Division and Commander Sector 2 Operation Fansayama, Major General Ibikule Ajose, says the festivities align with the Chief of Army Staff directive, allowing officers and soldiers to unwind and rekindle their enthusiasm and bond with their families to enable them focus in the discharge of their constitutional mandate.
Some of our successes include operationalization of 248 Reki Battalion in Ilela, the deployment of the Chief of Army Staff Special Intervention Battalion 7 in Gudu, the deployment of new Nigerian Air Force air assets, and other combat enablers.
The event features presentation of awards to outstanding soldiers as well as deserving individuals, a recognition of their contributions to the Nigerian Army. High point was the traditional lighting of the Wasa flame, symbolizing the commencement of the activity. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
And Comfort from Enugu Zone is ready with news updates from there, but that will be after the news, after the break. Please stay.
And welcome to Enugu Network Center. Enugu State Governor Peter Mba has restated his administration's commitment to identifying and nurturing sectors with high investment potentials to offer profitable opportunities to investors in the country and abroad. The governor was speaking during a sensitization and advocacy program for the promotion of diaspora investment potentials in the Southeast region. Chika Ugu reports that this was a collaborative effort of the state government and Nigerians in Diaspora Commission.
In diaspora are a remarkable force in the nation's development. Their substantial financial contributions through remittance, expertise, innovation, and networks can help spur transformative growth. Enugu State government recognizes Nigerians in diaspora as pivotal in the development of its transformative agenda of improving the state's GDP. Reason, it has continued to provide security, business-friendly environment, land, as well as transparent and credible structure. The governor represented said tax revenue harmonization and business reforms are some other moves by government to provide seamless investment process.
Effectively harnessing the support and influence of our diaspora community is crucial for enhancing investment and trade and securing robust representation in host countries to promote global interconnectedness.
The sensitization and advocacy workshop seeks to unlock vast opportunities for economic growth and development, which also serves as a powerful call to the Igbos in the diaspora to invest at home, not just for financial gains, but also to drive sustainable development in the region.
Let's work together to engage our diaspora and encourage them to invest at home, not in Abuja, but where they come from. And I'm sure that we'll achieve a lot of results and success because we're talking about Nigerians that are the best country of the world.
Following the call by the chairman of NIDCO to create a diaspora desk in the 17 local government areas of the state government resolved to adhere and work with indigenes in diaspora and key players to drive sustainable development. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
And the Southeast Zone of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has risen from a meeting with a resolution approving the zoning of national and zonal offices allocated to the zone. The party also restated its support for Ude Okoye as the national secretary. Chika Ugu again reports that this was contained in a communique read at the end of the zonal executive meeting held at the government house. The report.
Communique read at the end of the meeting by the National Vice Chairman Southeast stated that the meeting deliberated extensively on how to restore the party to its glory in the Southeast and nation in general. internal crises bedeviling the party at the national level, and controversies surrounding the office of the National Secretary of the PDP Southeast region. They commended the Court of Appeal's judgment upholding Udo Koye as the National Secretary in line with the party's constitution.
We also remain consistent and united in this position that Honorable SKE Udo Koye remains the National Secretary of our party. We continue to entrust and trust the judiciary to continuously do justice on this matter. The Zonal Executive Committee also went ahead to present, approve, and adopt the zoning of positions in the upcoming zonal congresses, starting from the chairman, zonal vice chairman, to the ex-officio. We are presented to the House, and the House have debated and has fully adopted.
The meeting was well attended by members including Governor Peter Mba, serving and past members of the Senate, National Assembly, former governors, and ministers. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
And as a pocket from Enugu Network Center, let's now take you back to Abuja for more reports on Nationwide.
Thank you, Comfort. The federal government's target of improving the connectivity and condition of major roads has continued with a total rehabilitation of the route linking Kano, Jigawa, and Bauchi states. The rehabilitation project of the road that also passes through Yobe to Borno State by the Federal Road Maintenance Agency is expected to ease movement of goods and services for Nigeria's economic growth. Awal Abdullahi has details.
Among the significant routes in Nigeria which are playing a critical role in promoting economic development is this one that enables efficient movement of goods and services between Kano, Jigawa, Bauchi, and neighboring states. This direct federal government project around Ganjua local government area of Bauchi state is aimed at ensuring an improved condition to handle the increasing vehicular movement, which includes cutting and scooping of potholes and laying of asphalt.
This is a new innovation of called asphalt, which is innovated by FEMA, and we are using our flameless pothole patcher for this exercise. So it's mainly to patch some potholes along the road to make the road good for the road users.
The road project is part of the federal government's commitment to ensuring potholes-free roads across the country. In Bauchi, Awal Abdullahi, NTA News.
To other stories, the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, D.D. Esther Wilson-Jack, has reaffirmed Nigeria's unwavering commitment to global public service excellence. This was during a visit of Nigerian delegation to the United Nations Development Programme Global Center for Technology, Innovation and Sustainable Development in Singapore. Wilson-Jack acknowledged Singapore's achievements in public sector transformation, noting that the Nigerian delegation is eager to draw inspiration from Singapore's successes to drive impactful changes in Nigeria's civil service. She expressed her heartfelt gratitude to the UNDP in Nigeria for organizing the visit. She says the delegation's visit reflects Nigeria's commitment to implementing reforms and building partnerships to enhance the effectiveness of its public service. Their collaboration is expected to pave the way for transformative advancements in training, policy implementation and service delivery, promising a brighter, more efficient future for Nigeria's civil service. The Nigerian delegation, comprising 20 heads of state civil services, is the first batch in the first phase of a two-part initiative. To humanitarian affairs, Benue State Government has launched a 5-year action plan on durable solutions aimed at providing humanitarian response to internally displaced persons across the state. Governor Hyacinth Alia at the ceremony, graced by local and international partners, commended the federal government and donor organizations for their immeasurable support in cushioning the plight of IDPs.
Action Plan on Durable Solutions is a deliberate initiative of the Benue State government in providing short and long-term interventions for displaced population, including returning them to their ancestral homes. Governor Hyacinth earlier disclosed that 10% of the state budget has been allocated for the implementation of the action plan. The governor, who solicited sustained support of the international community in providing humanitarian support services, thanked members of the committee for coming up with an inclusive document for vulnerable people in the state.
The government is actively establishing cooperatives to provide internally displaced persons with sustainable livelihoods as they transition back to a very dignified life.
Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Professor Nentawe Yilwada, while acknowledging the passion of the state government in addressing challenges of displaced persons, pointed out that the federal government will support the initiative with 500 hectares of land as well as inputs.
We're also providing tools and skills to the IDPs. Also, we'll train them and give them veritable skills that can enable them have a livelihood after this, and also assuring them, giving them soft loans.
What we're seeing here in Benue is really, really fantastic work to the governor, the minister, and his team.
We will be supporting this plan, and we will be pushing forward in order to make this a total success.
And I'm particularly impressed that Benue State has managed to do what the IDPs want the most.
The team had earlier visited the 280,000 hectares of land being cultivated by the state government for the dry season IDPs farm project. In Makudi, Elias, ATF, NTA News.
This is NTA and you're watching Nationwide. Our next set of reports will be coming from Ibadan, where Kemi is standing by. Kemi.
Very much, Elizabeth, and a warm welcome to Ibadan. Worried by the incessant cases of building collapse across the country, Nigerians have been admonished to always prioritize professionals in the construction of their property. To further drive home their message, the Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineers in Ibadan staged a street walk to sensitize members of the public against quackery in building and infrastructure construction. Lukman Hassan tells us more.
The work is to sensitize Nigerians on the dangers in patronizing quacks in the construction of building and other infrastructure. The Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineers, during the sensitization work, reminded Nigerians on the need to build right and build safe by patronizing professional civil engineers for their project.
Government as a stakeholder must take the bull by the horn and begin to legislate and enforce legislation to ensure that buildings are built properly.
Building collapse are errors, manifestations of errors in the handiwork of man, and it can be avoided. That's why we are advocating.
The work, which attracted professionals from various arms in the construction industry, also stressed the role of government in stemming this menace by formulation and implementations of law to sanction use of quacks.
When you engage the right professional, definitely your mind will be at rest that the housing, the building or infrastructure will be delivered according to design and specification.
The call for collaborations among all professional bodies in the construction and building industry to ensure that quackery is eradicated within the sector and prevent further destruction of lives and property in the event of building collapse. In Ibadan, Lukman Hassan, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has approved the annual recruitment of 30,000 police constables to strengthen internal security and promote optimal police service delivery nationwide. This was revealed by the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, at the passing out parade of police constables 2022 intake, Oyo State Command. Grace Ayonleke has the report.
With the intention to serve and address the dearth of personnel in combating the myriad insecurity challenges plaguing the country, the Oyo State Police Command has enlisted 346 constables to fulfill the Nigeria Police mandate of maintaining law and order and protecting the lives and property of citizens.
They will be deployed back to their various local governments where the concept of policing, community policing will be simplified from within the police force.
Acknowledging the deployment as an achievement of the institution's dedication to improved community engagement in combating crime, Oyo State government urged the constables to maintain firmness and fairness in their interactions with the civilian population.
It's a regimented organization and they are the gateway to security in the country.
As it is crucial to the success of the police and to the safety of the public, the recruit constables have undergone various professional drills and courses to ensure that they are well grounded in police duties to fit into the reform agenda of the Nigeria police. In Ibadan, Grace Ayonleke, NTA News.
And with that, we've come to the end of the news from Ibadan. Adiola is in our Lagos Network Center. She'll be taking it from here after this break. Do stay with us.
Thank you for joining us in Lagos. The Nigeria Customs Service says ending smuggling and other related crimes remains a priority as it continues to adopt new strategies in nipping the menace in the bud. Assistant Comptroller General of Customs and Zonal Coordinator Zone A, Charles Obi, made the remark at the decoration of newly promoted officers of a service in Lagos. Diana Ajali reports.
As a premier zone of the Nigeria Customs Service, Zone A has continued to maintain unprecedented standard in its anti-smuggling operations, trade facilitation, and revenue generation. This feat has enhanced personnel proficiency and professionalism. To further boost the morale of officers in tackling anti-smuggling activities, a total of 287 newly promoted officers were decorated. They include 39 comptrollers, 67 deputy comptrollers, and 182 assistant controllers, having put in several efforts in fulfilling its mandates and protecting the nation's economy. Assistant Comptroller General of Customs and Zonal Coordinator Zone A, Charles Obi, while commending the officers for their dedication to the cause of their service, said their elevation comes with a higher responsibility, emphasizing the need to uphold standards.
It's a testament to your exemplified dedication, unwavering integrity, and outstanding contributions to our nation's economic security. The service has demonstrated remarkable fairness and thoroughness.
For these officers and men of the Nigeria Customs Service, the new office is a call to more work as they are promoted to put in their best in the line of duty.
We have our torchlights all over the place, and no matter the responsibility, we are equal to the task and will not fail the government.
Honesty should not be thrown away.
It is expected that the new responsibility given to these officers of the Nigeria Customs Service will spoil them to achieving greater feat through dedication and hard work. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
And the Nigerian Army will continue to effectively and diligently discharge its constitutional roles in the defense of the territorial integrity of the nation, irrespective of any form of security challenges. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, reiterated this in a message to the social gathering of officers and men of the Nigerian Army Combat Service Corps and NALCOM. Again, Diana Ajali reports.
The social gathering aims to foster ties among military families and friends through a unique blend of entertainment and cultural display. After several months on the battlefield, working hard to ensure stability of peace and safety of all Nigerians and the general public, it is not out of place for these officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army Combat Service Support Corps and College of Logistics and Management to socialize with their family and friends and build positive civil relationships. Inspired by the spirit of oneness at the celebration, the Chief of Army Staff, who was represented by the General Officer Commanding 81 Division, Major General Farouk Mujiyawa, urged officers and men of the Nigerian Army to translate the synergy gathered from the West African social activities into effective and efficient combat service.
I see you as critical stakeholders
You must therefore continue to evolve strategies and operational concepts that take cognizance of the contemporary security challenges.
In appreciation, Commander, Nigerian Army Corps of Supply and Transport, Adekule Adeyinka, promised that the Corps will continue to uphold standards as logistics play crucial roles in effective service delivery of the Nigerian Army.
Your predictably constant support, sir, provided a solid platform on which we proudly stood to attain all the successes that we recorded.
Different cultural groups showcased their uniqueness at the celebration. More performances thrilled the audience as the children were not left out of the celebration. Soldiers from different bases proved their strengths in a tug of war. Officers who distinguished themselves in different areas of responsibility were appreciated. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
And we're done from Lagos. It's back to you, Elizabeth, in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Adeola. Talking security, the new commander of the Joint Task Force Operation Delta Safe, Rear Admiral Noel Madugu, says he will sustain the fight against crude oil theft and any form of illegality in the Niger Delta region to achieve the 2.5 million crude oil barrels per day. The commander disclosed this during the handover ceremony of the Joint Task Force at the Operations Command Headquarters in Igbogene, Bayelsa State.
That is one last quarter guard honor for the outgoing commander, followed by another to usher in the new commander to the Joint Task Force operation. Preceding the quarter guard was the paperwork and the handover of the flag with a signal moment signifying a change of baton of the Operation Delta Safe, where Admiral John Okeke leaves office after being at the saddle since February 15, 2024. The outgone commander, where Admiral John Okeke charged officers and men of the command to give the new commander, where Admiral Noel Madugu, the needed support as a commander.
Remain steadfast, and integrity is the watchwords. And of course, he must be everywhere. The joint operation area is large. And for you to pretend properly, you need to move out.
The new commander, where Admiral Noel Madugu, promised to sustain the fight against crude oil theft in the Niger Delta region.
The former commander did a lot of things, including the host community relationship, building on the tax, that's the crude oil production. It was low, but by the time he handed over to me, now it has gone very high. So the momentum will be kept so that we'll sustain the fight against this and ensure that the mandate of achieving 2.5 to 3 million barrels per day is achieved. That tax given to us.
The resolve of the federal government in the fight against crude oil theft, attention now shifts to sustain the achievements recorded by the joint operation. From Igbogene, headquarters of Operation Delta Safe, Yanikume Ulolo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Navy Forward Operating Base Ibaka has inaugurated a 100 meters mini firing range for the regular training of its personnel, part of efforts of the Chief of Naval Staff to sharpen skills of personnel for optimum performance. Kelvin Samuel reports.
A shooting range provides an atmosphere for the regular training of naval personnel whose responsibility it is to fight maritime crimes and ensure adequate security across the nation's coastal lines. The task requires mastery of the use of different ammunitions, especially guns. However, for over 30 years, the Nigerian Navy Forward Operating Base Ibaka, like many other FOBs, never had its own firing range. This is why this event is significant.
The base has continued to carry out various roles and responsibilities, and this has been demonstrated in recent times by numerous arrests of maritime criminals and their assets. which has led to a significant reduction of illegal activities of various forms within the waterways and coastal dwelling places in Akwa Ibom State. I am confident that this range will enhance personnel weapon handling and marksmanship skills, particularly for those engaged in critical operations such as anti-crude oil theft, anti-smuggling, anti-piracy, and anti-sea robbery operations.
High point of the event was the inauguration and inspection of the firing range by the FOC.
In Uyo, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
To drug interception, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have intercepted a consignment of loud packaged for export to the United Kingdom at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos. The agency also recovered opioids and various weapons in raids across Lagos, Ekiti, Kwara and Kano states. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim brings us details.
6 parcels of the psychoactive substance with a gross weight of 3.50 kilograms were concealed inside a duvet. 2 suspects linked to the bid to export the consignment to the United Kingdom were promptly arrested following the discovery by NDLEA officers on Tuesday, 21st January 2025. Additionally, 2 suspects were arrested at Ikorodu area of Lagos when NDLEA operatives raided their hideout in the community, where 7 liters of scooches, a new psychoactive substance. Other exhibits seized from the suspects include 3 locally made double-barrel rifles and 1 locally made double-barrel pistol, among other ammunition. In Ekiti, a 25-year-old suspect was arrested by NDLEA officers on Thursday, 23rd January, with 1.950 kilogram Canadian loud, while another suspect was nabbed by operatives on Monday, 20th January, in Kwara State with different assortment of illicit substances. And in Kano, a Nigerian alongside 2 others were arrested by NDLEA operatives at Gidan Tamburawa, Kano. 125 liters of Sokandai, a new psychoactive substance, were recovered from them. In Dawakin Kudu Council area of Kano State, a cannabis plantation was located and destroyed by a team of NDLEA officers who arrested a suspect linked to the farm. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
Meanwhile, in its continued onslaught against fake and unawesome products in Aba, the commercial city of Abia State, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, sealed 3 warehouses where expired beverages for children were stored for sale. Neka Ono brings us details.
The market in Aba had been in the news recently for the wrong reason. Few unpatriotic Nigerians have been consistent in producing and selling fake and adulterated products to unsuspecting Nigerians and denting the image of an international market with genuine businessmen. Now, Abia State government, the market authorities, and NAFDAC is partnering to crack down these unscrupulous elements within the market.
These products are products that children consume. So, for it to expire and give it back to people to take is as good as giving people direct poison. Everybody knows that we are the first people to consume these products before it's sold outside. Why are we cleaning ourselves? We shouldn't be cleaning ourselves.
Enough is enough. We don't want Aba or Ezekiel Road International Market name to be on the world, the whole world, tarnishing the image of the state. We have tried all possible best since about 2 weeks now, looking for the owners of those goods. Up to this moment I'm talking, it's not easy to trace.
The warehouses where expired beverage for children are stored are to remain under lock and key pending investigation and prosecution of perpetrators. In Aba, Neka Onu, NTA News.
And Sports Update concludes nationwide this evening. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Good evening.